Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, corn dog lovers of all ages, welcome to In the Box with your hosts, Matt and Adam.
Everybody get...
I would like to see the manager for the lack of corn dogs in the league. Hello, everybody.
We could sit there and bring it up another week. You know, no one's going to listen to us.
Yeah, we don't really have anything going on this week. Nothing really happened in the league. Nothing's happened to each of our teams.
Oh, so speaking of things to talk about, Hannah was over this weekend, and I mentioned that she watched a little bit of the show last week, and we were talking about cake, and she wants to reiterate, we cannot talk about pie.
Okay. Even if it's a pie inside of a cake?
No, just cake.
Okay, I'm good with that. I can live with that.
Yeah. I knew you'd be fine with it, but
yeah, I think I can live with
it. She just wanted to make sure that was discussed.
So our good friends Eric Bergerud, Geo, Bushwhacker, Capes 13, Matt Sterling are all in the chat. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining.
Wait. Let's just back up real quick. Bushwhacker.
Who's Bushwhacker?
Isn't Bushwhacker the mascot of the that new team that
the team with the new coach? And the new coach again.
Yeah, but no. What's their name? I forget.
Oh, we'll get to this in a little bit, but it is the St. Louis Ambuns. Take a close, really good look at that, and
so
we'll bring that back.
So last week after the show ended, I went pretty much straight to bed as I normally do, and I'm like, well, I'll tune in. I'll tune into the game and listen to it and fall asleep to it. And I look down and I look again and I rewound it. I sent Adam a message. I'm like, I called him. I'm like, yeah. Adam, do you notice anything interesting?
And meanwhile, I'm like, no, what's interesting? Nothing's interesting.
So I'm like, rewind to this time. He's still like, no, nothing.
Yeah. Look at the graphic. Because I thought you were going to you were saying something about what somebody was saying, because at the time that you said, okay, back up a second. Our ongoing running joke on here is we call Jamie Lovegrove Jamie Love Groove in honor of Mario Alvarez, the awesome announcer in Turlock. Well, when I turned on the time that you told me to turn on, he said Lovegrove, and I'm like, oh, did you screw up what did you say, love something? So I just totally missed the graphic. You're like, no, rewind it again, look at the graphic. I'm like, oh my God, what am I looking at? And for those of you who haven't seen it, there it is.
Go Ambuns.
Go Ambuns. We'll get to that in a bit when we talk about the broadcast power rankings, which everyone is interested in. Where do we start this week?
So I think we should start with some of the things. Speaking of Ambuns, Paulo Nascimento.
Yes.
Should probably mention that there is a GoFundMe started for him for the surgery, the ACL surgery that he had today.
Either yesterday or the day before.
Yeah. So there's that, and then once again, Rian Marquez. I posted something on the thread for that. Whew. Not COVID, don't worry.
The St. Louis team is 0-2 since becoming the Ambuns, by the way.
That is true.
Jack says that.
But will they be 0-4 after this weekend? Tune in to find out.
Jack also said something about pie being superior to cake, but I blocked him after that.
Yeah, that's not how we talk here. There are a few keywords that if you type, it's instantaneous block.
Yes, exactly.
Pie, blast, I think is one. But yeah, Rianne, Paulo. I'm trying to think of others, but I can't really think of any others at this point.
Those are the big ones.
Another announcement: the Florida Tropics are selling jerseys.
Oh.
On Live Source. I'm not exactly sure. I think it might be from last year. So if you wanted an Antonio Manfoot Florida Tropics jersey or Joey Tavernisi or others.
Can you customize it?
No.
Well, then that doesn't fit into the master plan.
I know. But yeah, there's that. So that's all I have, really.
So we're getting some messages.
Should I just stay here?
Yeah, we could. It's the couch show. You need access to your beverage, though.
Yeah, I should probably go get that. So
why don't you do that?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'll field the questions and bashing of the wave from the Crunch fans here. You guys are awesome, kind of. You're losing your awesomeness with every comment, but I do appreciate it. We'll get into some of the issues of both of our teams they're going on in a little bit. What do you got there?
Almost a 2-liter bottle of rum chata.
Oh. Yeah, I started drinking Coke Zero because I went into my company's cafeteria one day.
Yeah, so this is similar to Cinnamon Toast Crunch milk.
Oh, well, that's.
I bought it for a New Year's Eve party, and didn't really drink a lot of it. And thankfully, I have tomorrow off.
We're talking about the wave and the record and things tonight, right?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. I think we'll talk about. Yeah, and we'll talk about Utica and their issues as well.
All right, let me get ready for this. I don't know if I'm ready. So Eric says he's here for the segment where Adam and Matt apologize profusely for everything they said to Gio about the sidekicks last season. I don't remember that segment being on the agenda for tonight. You may file a petition with your local alderman.
Wait, what segment are we waiting for? So before we went on, we were talking about fans and how they come on at weird times. Mine just came on, so I can't really hear a lot. Yeah.
So Eric says, I'm here for the segment where Adam and Matt apologize profusely for everything they said to Gio about the sidekicks last season.
That was last season.
Right. And
we haven't really. I wore a Dallas Sidekicks jersey.
I've worn a Dallas Sidekicks jersey plenty of times last season and this season. I also don't remember Gio ever being right about Dallas last season.
That's right. Gio has not come on the show to defend Dallas this season. So
there's a spot for him somewhere in here, even though it doesn't say Gio on
it. There's a spot for me too. Where was I?
Oh, I had to do a different video thing, so I haven't brought that in yet.
That's the Ontario feed. I got it. Don't worry.
So what do we want to talk about first? Do we want to talk about our teams, or do we want to talk about stuff in the league, or?
Yeah, let's talk about stuff in the league.
All right. So the St. Louis Ambuns parted ways with their coach after what, 6 games? 5 games?
5. I think it was 5. Yeah.
I've heard some rumors on that. I don't know what's true. I don't know, other than the generic statement that was given to the world of, well, he's left, resigned. apparently he got into an argument with one of the players in practice. It got heated, so he basically kicked the play, and it's one of the injured players who has not played. I believe the argument was about something that the player wasn't getting ready fast enough or wasn't coming back fast enough, and essentially kicked them out of practice. The argument then got heated after practice or outside of practice. Went and kicked the player off the team. The player went to the owners. The owner says, you don't have the ability to kick players off the team. And something happened, and now he's not the coach anymore.
I have heard something different. I have heard it was a discussion over pie versus cake. So
yours is probably, ooh, that's good. What?
Pie and cake.
So so anyone that does, we do know the player who it was. From what I heard, it was the person with the foot injury right now listed on the injury report page on MASLsoccer.com.
Oh my God.
So if you go to the MASLsoccer.com, go to stats, go to injury report, scroll down.
Oh, that's good.
To St. Louis, it's a person with the foot injury. And I will not say the name on the air. So that's weird. What's weirder is that Jeff Locker is now going to be head coach. Jeff Locker doesn't have any experience coaching soccer, MASL. Now, granted,
Boy, I wish there was someone out there that they could bring back. A fan favorite, probably a player favorite. I don't know.
What about someone who who's only coached 3 games in his MASL career, but used to play for St. Louis?
Both solid options.
Yeah, so things are going to be weird. So when we came into this season, we thought because Greg Muir was essentially an unknown outside of St. Louis. I know he's very well known in the St. Louis area. That with no MASL experience, that this team would be a bust, and they're really not. They've shown some great heart. They've shown a lot of skill. They have one of the top 5 announcers in the league now, which I'm sure doesn't help their playing because they can't hear him. I don't know that, but I really thought they were going to be done for, but they've kind of proven us wrong. But now, what's going to happen?
Well, they need someone to come in and get them back on track and quick. I mean, and you'll hear me say this later on, but I'll say it now. It's not how you start; it's how you finish.
Good point.
And I think in the case of St. Louis, you've played almost a quarter of your games. And you've got to leapfrog. I think at the Central, I think 2 teams are going to make it. So in that case, you're going to have to leapfrog.
Everybody.
Weird to say this. You're going to have to leapfrog Dallas.
Yeah.
So
we'll
something needs to change. And I think you need to bring in either the 2 coaches we mentioned in order to have a chance at the playoffs.
Is that going to be what happens, though? So I see a message from Bushwhacker saying the rumor is the rumor they're hearing in the office. So that's 3 different sources that have said the same thing now. So that's
and that's coming from the mascot. So I mean,
well, but he spelled his name wrong.
Oh.
Wakker. But with those big gloves, I bet typing is hard. So
yeah,
mascot gloves is probably hard to type. So we'll give him. Yeah, it's probably the real guy.
Yeah, it's probably real.
Probably real. Congratulations on your long-term contract, Bushwhacker. We're all pulling for you.
We are. Absolutely.
There's that. So we'll see what happens with St. Louis. They have a test tomorrow, playing Tacoma. So we'll get into those picks a little bit later on, but that's the big thing. And then I heard a rumor on why. In fact, this was information given out freely by one of the Dallas owners to various Wave fans of why Pablo is not in Dallas anymore. Apparently, Pablo and Bushwhacker said it is hard to type in here. You don't have to put the computer inside the suit, though. You could probably leave it outside the suit. Type.
Or do like talk to text or something like that.
Yeah. But mascots can't talk. So they just have to nod their head and move their arms around. Yeah. Hey, Siri, translate this.
Yeah.
So
mime to text.
Rumor has it Pablo and a few players were playing in a cash tournament, money tournament, outside of the MASL and outside of the Dallas Sidekicks organization. And that is a huge no-no on all of the MASL contracts. And that was the reason why he was let go. Don't know if that's true, but that was what the owner was telling people. So you would think the owner would know. The owner is also the guy who coached them into winless seasons the last 4 seasons. Which is weird.
This is the most we've talked about Dallas in like ever.
Yeah, it kind of hurts. Let's talk about something else.
All right.
Let's talk about the goalkeeper rule.
Okay.
I noticed a lot of things about the goalkeeper rule, specifically this last week, with 2 Wave games and a number online. The whole point of the goalkeeper rule was to free up that passing back and make it more of an attacking game, which should lead to more goal scoring chances, which should lead to more goals. It's not happening. So I probably said it about 20 times so far. I think if you fast forward a couple of years, you'll see what the evolution of the goalkeeper rule has become. But right now, it's kind of a mess because teams are getting used to it and then they don't know what to do. A lot of teams are leaving instead of leaving that goalkeeper like at the somewhere between the yellow and the center line, like the top of the defensive side of the circle, as like their sweeper player. Now what players are doing is the goalkeeper just sits in the goal, and they're leaving a sweeper player do that. Well, what that's doing is when teams then pack 5 behind defense, you're attacking 4-on-5, which is the exact opposite of what the goalkeeper thing was doing.
Yep.
Now, with help from our good friend Sidney Newsonoff, from I don't know if he's still from Turf and Boards or just from.
It's from his jewelry store. Turf and Boards is no longer a.
So rings and things.
Rings and things, but not wings.
He helped me gather numbers for average goals scored per season. So we go all the way back to 2016, 2017. There were 13.12 goals scored per game on average. Now, this is both teams, and this was just a simple add up all the goals scored total and divide by the number of games, and then divide by 2 for the team. Yeah. And that got the average. So 13.12 goals per game. 2017-18, it was 13.64. It actually went up half a goal. And then they implemented the goalkeeper rule where they couldn't pass midfield, and it went down over a half goal, down to 12.36 in the 2018-19 season. And then in the 2019-20 season, it went up almost half a goal, 12.77. So we've gone 13, a little bit higher, a little bit lower, a little bit higher, a little bit higher. 2020-2021 season went down to 11.19. I don't know what to make of that because it was a shortened season. A lot of other things came into play. So I'm almost willing to just throw that one out. And now, with the new goalkeeper rule in effect that's supposed to increase scoring, supposed to increase goals, supposed to increase scoring chances, through 24 games this season is down to 11.08, the lowest it's been in the 6 years that I've collected the stats. Now, sure, it is only 24 games. But that's not good to see.
You know what would make that number go higher, right?
If they score more goals.
Or each goal counts as 2 points.
Oh. But then it would be double. Then it would be like 22.16.
Exactly. 22 sounds a lot better than 11.
What if you not only having goals is 2 points? What if you score from really far away, it would be 3 points?
No.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Totally crazy idea. I can't see Bushwhacker's avatar because I don't know why I can't. I just can't. Tony said the avatar Bushwhacker looks funny. And Kevin says the Bushwhacker is the most annoying mascot of all sports. Kevin, you have not seen Utica's new mascot yet. and San Diego fans, I love you guys, but your mascot is creepy. The
right,
weird square mouth.
Now we have to do a power ranking of mascots.
Alec, where are you? Your assignment is to power rank the mascots. And I want you to include Solos de Sonora because their fire guy was cool. If not creepy.
And you have to include Chili Willy too.
Have to include Chili. Yeah, yes. Have to include Chili Willy, and then the San Diego guy who's just all out creepy. And I know that's been their mascot since 1978, and the kids, built them in school or paper mache. I don't know really what happened. No, maybe that's the jerseys.
And Baltimore, if Baltimore doesn't have a mascot, Dave Kovaleski. That's it.
Well, Dave wins.
I'd give it to Chili Willy.
Okay, Dave's in a close second though.
No, Utica. Honestly, I forget what Utica's mascot's name is because it's just so hideous and so.
It's Keeper, the dragon lizard alien thing.
It's like Striker or something like that. Something.
Eric says if you look at the MASL trends, the scoring went down because they're better defending. They increased the size of the goals to compensate. This is not a new phenomenon. True. And I think some of those numbers, like in the 2018-19 season, I think the reason why it went down like almost a whole goal's worth, 13.64 to 12.36. So 2/3 of a goal. Well, a little part of a goal. I think the reason it did that is because teams figured out what Baltimore was doing on defense because Baltimore had won the previous 3 championships. If any questions, just ask any of their fans. And I think that's what happened is especially the teams in the East decided to emulate Baltimore's defense, and they're a lot lower scoring games. So,
yep.
So there's that. So I also noticed the goalie is basically out of the play, where if they have the center camera view from like yellow line to yellow line, you never see either of the keepers. I don't think that matters much. I mean, I like to see goalies on the field more, but I just noticed that. I think they're making up for it. I mean, there's probably just as many shots, so there's just as many times that the goalkeeper's in camera, but there's that. So that was my my stat collecting and noticing of the rule. Overall, I don't think it's really changed the game much. I know there's some comments made by, I won't name them by name, but some Blast fans who were saying that it makes the teams just look sloppy and it makes the product look worse because the guys can't get the ball out of their own defensive thing. I know that's what it's meant to do. It's meant to force them to do that, but right now it's making the game look more sloppy than it is.
Yeah, and you noticed that in the in the game between Florida and Utica, which I'll talk about later, but a lot of sloppy play in the defensive third because of that.
Yep. Let's talk attendance quick. Florida. Wait a minute. Jason, why are you a Blast fan? We'll get back to you. I'll keep talking. We'll get back to you in the delay of 30 seconds or so time. Florida has still not released any of their attendance numbers at all. I'm assuming the league isn't doing anything about it, or doesn't care, or isn't requiring them to do that. San Diego's released 2 attendance numbers that were 1,647 and 871. And when both of those posts were brought up, the excuses started flying. Now, granted, they're legitimate excuses. COVID is really nasty in California right now, as it is a lot of places, and there's people who just aren't going or can't or don't want to or whatever. However, I saw a number of comments by other fans that said the Wave is in trouble because there were only 2,000 fans at their second game. And some of those fans were San Diego fans. I just kind of went, so you guys who are giving the excuses about this are condemning this for being greater than this. That didn't make any sense. Now, I can throw in excuses. It was the day after New Year's Day. It was the day before everyone's going back to school and work. It was 2 days after their home opener. There was a major snowstorm that came in. It didn't leave as much snow as everyone thought, but a lot of people just changed their plans as soon as there's going to be snow and go, oh, well, look at that. It didn't snow as much. We could have gone to the game. But there's still 2,000 fans. I haven't seen 2,000 fans in Florida, and they haven't had snow in I don't know how many years. I'm going to leave that out there.
Do you think they've even had 2,000 fans at all of their home games?
Combined? Maybe. On paper or real people?
Like real people, not like stuffed animals that show up at the games and
2,000 unique people, or if a person goes to 3 games, that counts as 3 people?
Yeah.
So then I would say yes. Then I would say yes. If the same person goes to 3 games and it counts as 3 people, I would say yes, they've hit 2,000. Across 3 games.
Do we know anybody that's gone to 3 Florida games yet this year?
I think Annette Caldwell, who is the either the fan of the game or the friend of the fan of the game or holding the fan of the game. I didn't really understand that picture too well. Because there's some dude
the only fan of the game.
Yeah, there's some dude with a cape on and glasses over his head, and there's Annette, and then there's of course the fan of the game, which is the corn dog.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I thought. That's how I read it. Florida on the MASL website has attendance on it. What does that mean? If I go to attendance, oh, Florida announced attendance. Holy crap, they updated their attendance. I did not realize that because they had not done it. So here we go. They have so the answer to your question is no. They have not hit 2,000 people yet. 3 games, total 1,236, average 412.
That's sad.
That
is beyond sad.
So now I'm going to check each game and see if anyone was. I didn't. So thank you. Who said that? James. I'm assuming
412.
I'm assuming Kowalczyk is the pronunciation of that.
Yes.
Okay, so what do I want to do? RP. What? I only want
412. That is.
Hang on, it might get worse. They might have had 1,000 the first game.
All right. I bet you more people went to the game against Utica because it's a division rival.
Okay, well here's the way it works. They reported attendance for 1 game as 1,236 people and did not report attendance for the other 2 games. So that's why their stat reads like it does. Well, congratulations.
So it makes it even murkier. Okay.
Congratulations, cool. Florida, on reporting attendance for 1 of your games.
Or it could be all 3 of your games.
Right. As far as we're concerned, it's all 3 of your games because. All right. Before we get into the real couch segment of this game. I want to mention something on a post. I'm gonna call out a name. I'm gonna call out two names here. One in a good way, I guess, and one in not a good way. I noticed there was a post of the MASL announcement on the Wave Blast forfeit thing. And Robert Mullins, who I think works for Dallas, was the one who shared that to the group. What I'm going to do, what happened was it got heated. There was one particular person, I'll name him in a second, who started talking about all sorts of stuff that he normally talks about when he gets involved in these posts. Robert Mullins didn't like the fact that it was happening, and Robert Mullins deleted the entire thread. We're hoping on In the Box that we don't have to delete threads. Like, we can leave posts going. We don't have to necessarily delete things if they get ugly. Sure, we will delete maybe sub-threads or when people get like out of hand, like our favorite Danny Manko, the King, who no longer is a St. Louis fan apparently this year. But I really don't want to delete posts. So what I'm going to do, having said that, if you share a post from the MASL and I see that and there's no comments on it, I am most likely going to reshare under my account and delete your post. Do not be offended by it. I'm not talking to you, Matt, obviously. I'm talking to, and Matt, you can do the same. I just don't want to get in a situation where because of a discussion somebody doesn't like, even if it may be valid, that somebody feels like they can just delete that thread and get rid of it. So, now that said, if you're going to come in and act like John Schmidt did, you're going to get banned. Like, if you act like a complete douchebag to admins on the group and then try to block one of the admins, I mean, it's considered a public group, but it's still our private group. We're banning your ass. Like, what is that pillow? Oh.
Yeah, don't try and ban us.
So there's that.
Us.
So there's that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that because it's happened in the past. It's gonna happen in the future. If your name rhymes with Moose Lulcher, you'll probably also get banned. Just for the fact that that's what your name is.
Mine does.
What?
My name rhymes with that.
With Moose Lulcher?
Oh, no, it doesn't. Continue.
What are we talking about here? So anyway, the other thing I want to talk about in the group is the corn dog saying contest. I bumped the thread today. What I was originally going to do is I was going to go by the number of likes. The post of the most likes in that thing, in that thread would get the corn dog, but there's like 3 or 4 people who have 3 likes each. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the top 10 or so sayings and put them in a poll, and we'll do an official winner of the poll gets the corn dog thing.
I added a couple more. So
I saw that, and you're already in the running for winning the thing. I
am?
That we shouldn't be in the running for running our own thing.
I just wanted to put them on there. So.
Dave Kovaleski just says, no deletions for me, you Iron Sheik jabronis.
Well, break his back, make him humble.
All right. So I think we've stalled enough. We need to dive right into the real issues at hand.
No, I think we need one of these before we get into.
You sure?
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Just real quick.
Now, back to them.
We're back. Back to them. I need to change that. It delay is a little too long on the end of that.
That's all right.
But whatever. You guys didn't miss us too. We did a timeout. So I did get one funny sound clip. It's really low in volume, so I don't know if we'll be able to hear it. In the San Diego Ontario game, Craig Elston was trying to keep up with the melee that was going on the field. He was like, and now they're doing this, and now they're pushing and shoving, and now they're kicking, and now everyone's mad. So I grabbed.
Then everyone's mad. Then everyone's mad. Then everyone's mad.
And just the way he said it was really funny, so I had to grab that as a sound clip. I don't know. Simple things amuse simple minds. I'm amused a lot.
Do we have a sound clip for Eric? We don't even have one for him. We have one for Joey. We have one for Craig Elston. We have Nick. So I think Eric needs to have some sort of. He needs to say something to. What?
I have the perfect one. We'll debut it next week.
All right.
I don't want to spoil it because it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of the best things that's ever happened in this show within a 5-second period or so. And Eric says he's the intro. So Matt says drag it out another 10 minutes. He's not home yet. Do we want to start with the wave then?
I mean, I've got my drink here, so you can.
Yeah. So, as you know, the Wave are 0-5 or 0-4-1, however you want to look at it. There's one game still in limbo. And it's painful. As a Wave fan, I mean, there's Wave fans who said they have never seen the team start off this badly. There is a funny trivia question in there. The last time the Wave started 0-5, do you know who the head coach of the Wave was? It was his first year as head coach of the Wave.
Was it Tozer?
It was. So, I don't know if that's good or bad, but you get how about a small, just a. And I've seen a lot of excuses from Wave fans. Yep, you got it right, Kevin. I'm not one to make excuses on, and I think we talked last week. I went into like these sound like excuses, but they're really just reasons. But they're really not meant as excuses. You could say 2/3 of the roster is new this year. You could say there are injured players. You could say there are visa issues. But the bottom line is that once the season is on, and it's the team's responsibility to field a team, with maybe one exception. Bless. But the Wave is considered a premium indoor soccer brand, and when they put a team on the field in a competitive schedule, that's it. So, huge congratulations to Dallas for winning 3 in a row and having that third game be against the Wave. There are no excuses. There are, the Wave has always been a next man up mentality. Granted, there's a lot of next man up, and I'll get into those stats in a second. Capes 13, is that Mama Capinos?
I don't know.
Says, do you need some Calafina to wash down that Jada?
No, this is all I need.
Do you have cinnamon toast for that? Is what you need. Cinnamon toast crunch for that.
No, that would make it even more like I'm okay with some cinnamon, but that would make it too cinnamon flavored. It would kind of be like remember those like Fireball candies that you'd put in your mouth? Yeah, it remind me of that. That's just gross.
That would be almost chemical, like, yeah. But here's the thing. You field a team in the MASL, you're dealt the cards you're dealt, you play the cards you played or dealt or have or hiding in your sleeves. And that's what you need to do. And if you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. That there's no, at the end of the season, there's not going to be like last season, like a giant asterisk. There's not going to be something saying, but these guys didn't have all their players. It's the team. So yes, it is a very different team, and we'll get into that. There are a lot of injuries, there are a lot of visa issues, but it's still the team. It's still, they're wearing the uniforms, they're out in the field, the win or loss counts. So, serious congratulations to Dallas for winning. KC looked amazing. St. Louis looked really good. Wave hasn't looked good this year. Let's get into some stuff on why. A lot of people are saying we have to have Josh Lemos back. And yes, I agree 100%. However, here's one way to look at it. And I wrote this in a chat to some friends. Would Josh instantly make the team better? Absolutely. Have any of the losses been a direct result of either Matt Perella or Augie Ray? No. So while he would make the team better, without a doubt, he's not the reason why. Not having him in is not the reason why the team is losing. Team needs better leadership on the defensive side of the ball and better execution from like most of the roster. And the Blast looked good, but I haven't seen the Blast play since last year. See what I did there? That's the first time this year I've used that joke. I got through the 6th of January without using that joke before.
You know, it's funny. I was supposed to watch him the day after Christmas, but yeah, it didn't happen.
Yeah. It's funny how that works. So here we go. I grabbed stats. So if you go into I don't know where exactly I found this. It's on the MASL page. There's under team stats, and there's a place you can download the stats. And then I manipulated them around and worked on some. So
did you make a pretty picture?
I kind of, but I can't really show it on the. I don't have a way to show it on the screen easily.
Oh, okay.
But I categorize it into 3 categories: players, like veteran players that have been with the Wave long term. Players that are brand new to the team. And then players that played in the 2019-20 season, but limited play. So the first category is the veteran players. Ian Bennett, Marcio Leite, Luan Oliveira, Andre Hain, Alex Bradley, Stuart Grable, Daniel Chamale. I'm only including those 7 because Derek Hoffman is injured and has not played this year yet. He will be back for the 14th, and Andrew Wiedebach has not played this year because he's injured. He will be back hopefully sometime in February, maybe March. And then now, of course, Chamale is out for the season, so that's really only 6 players. Of the 13 new players, Gordy Gerson, Kyle Crane, Tyler Turner, Danny Matos, I included him as new. He was on the Wave about 4 years ago, but it's been enough of a gap that I consider him new. James Weber, Taylor Pill, Tyler Botcher, Victor Rada, Douglas Dos Santos, Kevin Ronho. I'm going to call him Naranjo now because Van McNeil called him that. Javier Steinwasser, Diego Bobadilla, and Jonathan Pachar. Those are 13 players who are considered new to the team. Now, 4 of them have not played yet this year. James Weber, Taylor, and Victor have not played in any games. And what?
And Gordy?
No, Gordy's played in 5 games.
Oh, I haven't noticed.
Well, you're kind of making my point here. And then the three who have played before, Matt Yang played 5 games in 2019-20. Mikey Herrera, a great up-and-coming young player, played in 8 games in 2019-20. And then Mario Alvarez played in 5 games before he got hurt. Mario Alvarez, I could probably put in that what am I trying to say? The veteran column, but I'm going to leave him as separate. So then what I've done is I've combined those 13 and 3 players into 16, compared their stats against the 7. The 7 players have 2 to 3 times more stats than the 16. So overall points, 7 players have 36 points, the 16 have 9. Shots, 105 to 41. Blocks, 27-17. Now, where the 16 players do have an edge over the 7 is in the number of fouls, where it is currently 57 to 26. However, the veterans are leading penalty minutes 24 to 6 over the new guys. So what does that tell me? That tells me that 2/3 of the team aren't doing anything. And then if we were to take out like Gordy and Kyle Crane out of that, the numbers just drop way off. Because Gordy's had 3 goals, Kyle Crane has had 2. And of the total points, that takes away 5. So my analysis says the new guys haven't stepped up at all. And really, that's really where the issues are this season. You can't put 7 players and now down to 6 with Chamale being gone and just shoulder the whole season on them. On top of that, Ian Bennett was just named the offensive player for the month of December. He's leading the league. He's actually tied with Leo Gibson in the number of points, but he's leading in goals. So they have him first on that stat. And he's been able to do that with barely a team behind him.
Dave Kovaleski is going to put something in the chat momentarily, I'm sure. So be on the lookout for that.
He's already messaged me on it privately.
Oh yeah, no, he already talked to me about it too. So
I got a message from at least one player saying that makes the players feel like shit because they are out there doing the best they can. They have no control over who is counted as the defensive player of the season 5 years ago, and like those goals and assists all count. It's not like a block, which could be some mysterious number. That
yep.
So there is my analysis breakdown of the Wave season so far.
Wow.
Wow,
you broke it down.
I spend way too much time in this crap. You know that.
I spent 0 time. So I have no stats. I have no real.
Hang on, wait. Before you go, I'm gonna do a couple comments in the chat about.
Okay, yeah.
So Adam Grosskreutz says the Wave is on the brink of starting to win some games here. They just need to iron out a couple things, and boom, they are good again. 100%, absolutely agree. It's only a matter of time before some of these players either get better or get cut. And that's really going to be what's going to happen. Huffman's coming back. We'll get Wiedebach back, who was a really kind of a breakout player in 2019-20. And I'm hoping, beyond all hope, that there will be some more signings at some point. Why is my phone? So there's that. And then somebody, we'll lead into your, so Matt Sterling says, Matt, just borrow the stats he threw out in the episode this week. And then I will lead you in by saying, Jack says, I think the big difference between Milwaukee and Utica is Milwaukee is closer to being in a rebuild mode. Utica has a roster to win right now and is underperforming. And with that, I turn things over to you.
Underperforming is an understatement. So Utica has their big issue is execution, I think. I mean, you look at the roster for Utica, you have seasoned veterans up and down that roster, right? Milwaukee doesn't have that. And Adam, you said they have a lot of new players and growing pains. I get that. And I think in the first 2 games, we saw Utica with a little bit of rust. And then we saw the 2 games against Harrisburg. They knocked that rust off pretty good. And I think Utica fans were starting to believe. And then we saw the game against Florida. And I'm going to come out and say it. I think if Brian Wilkin was in net that game, it wouldn't have been as bad. I mean, you look at the stats right now. Andrew Coughlin has given up, 7 goals, 6 goals, and 10 goals.
That's a lot of goals.
That's a lot of goals.
He's helping to keep
Brian Wilkin has given up 4 and 3.
Yeah.
My question is, why wouldn't you start your hotter goalie against Florida on Sunday? That's my question. Brian Wilkin was coming off of, granted, it was a few weeks ago, but he came off of 2 impressive showings. My next question then would be, if you saw Andrew Coughlin give up 6 goals in the first half, why would you not replace him with Brian Wilkin?
Yeah.
And I've talked to a few people, and we've all said Andrew Coughlin has lost a step. And I mean, yeah, he hasn't played in 20 months. I get it. Brian Wilkin really hasn't played in 20 months either, and he seems to be doing really, really well. So hopefully, we see him in goal on Sunday. But back to the reasoning why it's a lack of execution. I think you're seeing slow starts from a lot of guys. Christian Segura, Slavica Ubi-Parapovic, Moises Gonzalez has had a great start.
Yeah.
But I think the loss of Darren Toby to visa issues is huge.
Capes just asked about Diego's. Is that visa issue as well?
Visa, yeah. And I said I was going to say this again. It's not how you start, but how you finish.
Say that.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. So if you didn't hear that before, you can rewind back. But before you rewind back, if you wanted to click the
right,
the thing right
yeah,
here,
before you rewind, yeah, you might want to do this thing.
Do that thing right there.
Put a little button and then make it go away.
Yeah. I think you're going to see the team eventually turn around. And I'm as frustrated as any Utica City fan is right now. And I want to talk you all down. No fair weather fans here. I think you're going to see improvement over the next few months. Now, Utica has a lot tougher schedule than Milwaukee. I'm just going to say it because I mean we don't have the likes of course Dallas is playing really well, but we only have one game against St. Louis. But besides that, we're playing everyone in the East, everyone in the West. It's going to be tough, and we're going to need. I think if we make the playoffs, we're going to be a definitely a hard out, especially with that schedule that we have.
You played Chihuahua in Chihuahua?
No.
We have a back-to-back in Chihuahua.
No, we have Chihuahua and Tacoma at home to end the year.
Oh. Yeah,
but,
we have
two against Ontario. I think two against San Diego. I mean, we're not gonna we can't rely on wins against Harrisburg. Can't rely on Willie B. Oh, for the record, I don't know if Willie B is watching. I have a funny story for him. So Harrisburg Heat had a promo of New Year's resolutions, and Willie B's was to not eat as many donuts. Oh, Hannah definitely laughed at him for saying that. She loves donuts.
Well, I mean, donuts are it's like a round piece of cake.
Pretty much cake. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like cake with icing. Or powdered sugar, or
so here's what I find interesting. So you and I, we were going to talk about the Milwaukee Utica thing, and I posted something on Facebook today, and I just wanted to get like everyone's opinion on it, and I thought it was really, really interesting. So I think, if I remember correctly, I think like 15% of the poll thinks Utica will make the playoffs, but Milwaukee won't. 35% said Milwaukee will make it, but Utica won't. And then like 15% said both would make it, and then 33% said neither would make it.
Get the updated voting results here.
Oh, by the way, can you ban that quadrant 4 of the one that neither would make the playoffs.
So here's the problem is when I look at it on my desktop, I don't get the percentages of the quadrants. I get the old style poll format. I need to look at it on my phone, which has been going nuts here. I don't know what's going on. Please hold. Wait, well now it looks the same on my phone.
Oh, wait.
23 votes saying neither one makes the playoffs. 22 saying Milwaukee makes the playoffs. 13 both, and 12 Utica.
Yep.
The playoff format is going to be really interesting because there's four. When you originally look at the playoff, you're like, oh, well, 4 teams aren't going to make it. That's fine. Well, we'll be there. And then you go 0-5, and you're like, well, shit. We're not going to be there anymore. And then you start thinking about
where you're going to get points.
Where you're going to get points, and who else is going to do well. I mean, I think it's probably safe to say that Utica, or that was a slip up, that Harrisburg won't make it. But after that, I mean, I know Jay wants to think that Chihuahua won't make it, but you never know. They've only played 2 games against the 2 toughest teams. Or 2 of the 3 toughest teams.
Oh yeah, well, and then in that case, Utica has played 3 games against the toughest team in the league.
I don't think you can argue with that at all. Yeah. Maybe the power rankings don't show it, but yeah.
But I expect Utica to wake up eventually.
Will it be too soon? Will it be too late, or will it be soon enough?
I hope it's soon.
And that's kind of the same way I'm looking at Milwaukee, but like game against KC, they went up 3 goals, and they immediately went down 3 goals, and then just that was the end of that. But the game against Dallas, they went down 7-2 before coming. If you look at the final score of the game, 7-5, it's like, oh, they lost a close one. No, that game was never close. It was
Utica losing 10-3 on Sunday.
Yeah,
I mean you take a look at it, and Utica did lose 4-2 in the second half. One of those goals was kind of an own goal, so I'm not really going to count that. So 3-2.
Sure. Yeah.
I will say this. For Sunday's game. A lot of guys were recovering from illness. So there was a lot of winded players, and they looked winded. So I think fitness is a big thing, and I think once that picks up, I think you're going to see Christian Segura pick up his game. Slav's going to pick up his game, and I'm begging Bo Yelvac, bring back that fire that you had 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
That needs to come back. You are one of the top target forwards in this league. You're huge.
Yeah, agreed.
Push these defenders off and make room to shoot.
Interesting thing you said about Brian Wilkin. The other day, Utica did one of their videos on get to know Brian Wilkin. It says, our keeper, the spider monkey.
But yet they don't.
Right.
We'll find out on Sunday what happens. And we'll get into picks in a little bit, and I'll kind of give you the rundown of what's going to happen.
I don't know if Linda Smith is watching, but she's messaged me saying, I see the Wave signed a new player, but he has no stats or bio. The Wave signed a guy with no MASL experience to join the guys with no MASL experience. I shouldn't have said it like that, but I think there's I think that was just a kind of a roster filler. Because there are a number of players that also don't practice with the, or don't aren't on the Wave roster that practice with the Wave. maybe this was just a roster shifting around.
Now, why do they practice with the wave, like in case someone gets injured or something?
Yeah, I mean, in case half your team gets wiped out by this virus that everyone knows has been going around for 2 years, you can still field a team play.
Oh.
And it's their. Realistically, the Wave could have an M2 team and just filter players. And the problem with having an M2 team in that situation is if you have to gut your M2 team, you have no refills for that one. Right. I think they're just building it up slowly with reserves until they can.
So I figured. So as we're talking, and I'm sure we're going to get into this in a second. The picks. So last week we had Kansas City players come in at the right time.
Yes.
I bet you Eric Bergerud is messaging the players saying, hey, they're ready to pick the games now.
Oh, yeah. What do you think Matt's going to say? Well, first, okay. What would Gio pick? Comments at the sidekicks. Is that at the sidekicks?
Well, if it was Gio would be wearing a sidekicks jersey. And he'd be like, oh, man.
Why do you guys do this to me?
My heart wants to go with Dallas.
But my head is going to go with Dallas.
My head is going to go, you know what? I'm going to pick Dallas.
I'm going to pick Dallas.
And then we would say something like, Gio, you're crazy. And they'd be like, I hate you guys.
Yeah. Remember those days? I miss those days.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
All right. Anyways.
I don't think he's allowed to pick any other team other than the Blast.
I don't think so.
So in Kansas City at Dallas, he still picks the Blast.
Yeah, it's in his contract.
Yeah. Or he gets the car again.
Yeah.
He picks the Blast or he gets the car wash again. Oh boy, that's funny. Yeah.
Do you wanna do your rankings?
Yeah.
Rankings?
Before I do that, Bushwhacker is now spelled differently. Said, can we bring up the Paulo GoFundMe for the surgery expense again? Yes. Eric Bergerud shared a post in the box just before we went live with a link to that GoFundMe. I did notice Coach Muir was one of the first ones to donate, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yes.
I don't know what his out-of-pocket costs are going to be on that, but let's hope that he can get.
I think the big thing is going to be just having him back on the field.
Yeah, I mean he's obviously out for the season, but especially with the surgery now, he would have had it right when he got injured back in November. That's still really cutting it close.
Yeah,
I know when Josh had his ACL, he was talking about maybe coming back for the playoffs, but I think you have to expect a year with ACL injury to be fully back to 100% playing.
Well, I think before the season ended, I think he was telling me he was going to come back for the game against Utica.
Oh, just because he was telling you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, yeah, let's go through the broadcast power rankings. So this is a highly scientific method that I use where I watch the games.
This data goes into a computer.
This is what pisses me off the most and the least scale. And we'll start from the top, we'll work our way down. Kansas City. Kansas City would be above number one if there is such a thing above number one. And I'm not just saying that because Eric's in the chat. I'm saying that because Eric's in the chat and Nick may watch this later. No, seriously. Best video quality, best audio quality, best camera angles, best ability to follow the ball, best... the announcer guys, those are pretty good too.
Oh, so speaking of that, before you go into anything, MASL midweek interview with Nick Vassos.
Yes.
The first minute of it is just great.
Right, right. The first minute of it will make Willie B feel a little bit better.
Yes.
I think you liked the comment, but I wrote a comment on the MASL's page that should be homework for all of the broadcasting teams to watch that interview, because there are some bits of gold in there. And if you are out there as an announcer and you are not in the top 5 or 6 of this thing and you think you know everything, go watch that interview. And it's Nick. I mean, Nick is Nick. If you've met him in person or if you've heard his broadcast, he's that. Now there are other teams, Joey Zanaboni has his on camera or on microphone personality and his off microphone or off camera personality. And that's certainly a thing. I think Ray Biggs has a little bit of that too, but Nick is like one of the most genuine people I've ever met. And he's this great broadcaster. Bushwhacker, you're welcome. We will continue to talk about it in the box in the group, and that post will stay towards the top for a while. In fact, we can pin the post, leave it up there for a while. So anyway, Kansas City is if I were the league, I would say here, Florida, go watch all these games and then mimic this. When we had our good friend MJSL, when he did his things about the league last season, he did let's follow a template. Well, here's your template. Kansas City broadcast is your template. Everyone else follow it. So, enough on them. Very close in second place is Utica, and not only because they have a blue turf. The only negative I could find was there's not enough of the guy who used to wear blue hair, and it almost seems on purpose at times. And
it's one of those things. I almost broke the camera, so they want to save.
Whoa.
Yeah, they want to save money. So that's why I went with the suit for the first couple games. I don't know if I'm going to stick with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you with Utica. The only issue is the cutaways, and I think a lot of teams do that.
The answer that I heard is the broadcast is the same as the Jumbotron camera.
It is.
In the arena, you want to show people in the yes. They want to show people in the arena to show people around, so that what it does is when they show one group of little kids screaming and jumping up and down, all the other kids scream and jump up and down. They want to be on the Jumbotron, and that just gets the overall energy of the crowd going on. I think teams need to get a secondary feed from what goes on the Jumbotron for the broadcast, and it'll instantly fix that entire issue, along with things like replays and all sorts of other stuff that I'm going to get into with other teams. But that's my only complaint with Utica. That's all I wrote. I think Ray is definitely coming into his own as an indoor soccer specific announcer. He's already an excellent announcer as it was, and I think he's really coming into his own, knowing the game and being able to and knowing the finer points of the game, and he brings in a lot of really good info. So then third place, this may be a surprise because they were not third last season or the season before, is St. Louis. I think what St. Louis has done is they watched that Kansas City template and they made a lot of changes to follow that template. They brought in Joey Zanaboni, who I'm obviously a fan. I've gushed about him enough on here, and it's almost embarrassing, but not really, because I don't really care. But they've also improved their audio and video quality, and they have a cameraman that can follow the ball. That was one of their big problems last season, is the ball is moving, the camera's way over here, the camera's way over here, and zip, and then it gets all blurry and all just.
Or those ridiculous goalie cams with plays down at the other end. It's like, yeah, come on.
Because somebody took a bathroom break too long is what that is, and they just haven't come back. I mean, there were times that it went. And earlier this season, they did have a case where it was on the wrong camera angle for a good couple minutes but they've shortened those up, and that's why I wanted to do these broadcast rankings instead of waiting to the end of the season. I'm going to do them every week, and that way I don't have to go through and watch more games that I'm already watching, and I can get some ideas fresh in my head, and I'll move things around like every other team does. Fourth place may be a guess, but I'm going to put Harrisburg in fourth. And they only had one game so far, but things seemed pretty good. The camera angle was okay. No, you're not agreeing. That'll probably change the next time I watch a game at Harrisburg.
Camera. Well, here's the thing. They had a replacement play-by-play guy,
Yeah.
and I don't know. He thought Rochester had the kickoff, and then Rochester won 4-3 the night before.
Yeah.
So probably his first game as an indoor soccer person. So it was the commentating wasn't. I mean, it was all right, but it wasn't amazing. Camera angles were okay, but yeah. I wouldn't say fourth.
All right, well, we'll pretend that I didn't say that. James says
ambush. That's an incomplete. I mean, that's a to be determined at this point, I think.
James says ambush need teal turf. 100% agree. He also wants to know if Joey has a sound clip that we can share. And it kind of brings up a really good time to do this. We'll be right back. And James, pay attention.
We'll be right back.
Now, back to them.
So there we go. And now back to them.
Now back to them.
All right, so it turns out that the people doing these power rankings don't have any idea what they're talking about, and they tend to screw up a lot. So that'll change after the next Harrisburg game. I may just drop them down because of that anyway, but we'll see what happens. Fifth place, I'm going to put fifth for Milwaukee only because they had 2 games. If they only had the first game this weekend, they would be like 8th, maybe lower, because there was all sorts of weird audio problems to start out the game. They had...
Oh, my goodness. It was, yeah.
They had, so Tom Wynn, the main announcer, Van McNeil, who's the PA guy, who's not supposed to be on the broadcast unless you hear him in the background by chance, and then their commercial volume were all at the same levels. And you could hear Tom during commercials, you could hear Van, you could hear the commercial. Complete disaster there. But they fixed it somewhere between the first and second quarters, or first quarter and second half. Somewhere in the second quarter they fixed it. And then in Friday's game, I thought, or in Sunday's game, I thought it was fine. I didn't see anything. I thought Tom Wynn struggled a little bit not having a color guy. But that may be me just missing Tom and Art announcing a game, which I don't think will ever happen.
Yeah. So yeah, the New Year's Eve game was pretty. Audio was pretty bad. I mean, yeah. I had Eric going, "Listen, Adam better say something."
Well, Eric messaged me and said, "You no longer have the right to talk about anybody else's broadcast." And I'm sitting in the arena going, "Oh boy, I wonder what's going on."
Well, that's when you messaged me. You're like,
"Yeah." So Kevin, you will be surprised to hear Baltimore is not dead last, but the bottom 3 are pretty much close. Equal. 6th place, Tacoma. They have a close camera angle they like to use, and it's too close to follow the action right. And because of that, the camera guy can't follow the camera.
Weird.
It's if they kept their main angle, which isn't too far away, it would be just fine. But instead, they keep zooming in and like following around like 2 or 3 players. The problem with that is when the ball goes off the screen, the camera guy can't follow with it, and they miss stuff.
Yeah, it's that really weird like camera down.
Yeah.
Like near the glass. It's like near the curve, I think.
Yeah.
It's just at a weird angle and you can't see anything.
And that bugs me, and that may, if they don't fix that, they may drop them down the list, because what I'm hoping, and somebody asked me like, "Why are you doing this?" And this is the way it's always been. It's like, well, if you sit there saying this is the way it's always been, and then also on your next question is, why aren't we on ESPN? There you go. Granted, ESPN will come in and blow through all the equipment and do it all on their own teams and everything, but you have to show that you have a viable product. And if you're showing stuff like this weird camera angle with no soccer ball on the field in a soccer game, or clipping audio, as we'll get to in a second, or guys calling out the wrong teams and the wrong names, or a scoreboard that doesn't work, and just all sorts of stuff.
Or if your name is Florida.
Yeah. So that's, and then Tacoma does a lot of really frequent replays, a lot of really frequent numbers, high numbers of replays. And yeah, and the lighting in, Kevin said the lighting in the arena is terrible, like playing in a roller skating rink. Granted, there's not a lot they can do from the broadcast side of that. That's more of an arena issue, but I'm keeping that in mind. But they've missed goals before because of the replay. They're doing replays or they're not looking at the ball or whatever. And that first week where they had like goal of the week, the goal of the week didn't even show the soccer ball. So there's that. And the number 7 is San Diego, which you may find interesting, because if I would have done these rankings before this week, like if I was actually started in week 1 and gone on, San Diego would have been like in 2nd or 3rd place. But in whatever that was, whether that's Saturday night or Sunday night's game, the audio was clipping so badly. And if you want an example of what I'm talking about, it's in the replay in MASL primetime, where both of the microphones, when they say things louder, clips so badly. It's like that staticky, really annoying, like piercing the inside of your brain with like a pitchfork or ice pick type sound. And it was going on all game, and it never got any better. And then when, of course, Nate took over in the 3rd quarter, his mic is always louder anyway. I don't understand why. I almost just turned the game off at that point in the quarter, but I knew something was great was about to happen. That game was crazy as far as swings and momentum, where it was all on Ontario's side for the first 3 goals and then all on the other side for the next 6. So that said, I expect San Diego to move way up this list. I don't think they will have this problem 2 games in a row. I hope. If they do, they may drop down. Number 8, Ontario. So I want to say Ontario's play-by-play team is one of the best there is now, but they still have technical difficulty. And I know a lot of us will associate the technical difficulties with the people broadcasting, and it's really not. They don't have any control over it. They're trying to do their best to follow the action and talk on the mic and just talk. It's the production team behind them that is really responsible for all this stuff. They have clipping audio problems. They have a lot of weird camera angles where they'll show like the back of the ref's head instead of the soccer ball for a while. And then there's way too many replays. And one of the things we had JP Della Camera on, it seemed like 20 years ago. And he said there's no excuse for missing a goal because you're showing a replay. And he said there's no excuse for missing a goal in indoor at all, ever. And you just can't do that. And Ontario misses replays all the time because they're replaying like a common foul or something. And they always replay. It's not like a cutaway to the crowd like other things, but it's like this weird replay of a foul or of a pass or of a save or whatever, and then they miss the goal, and then we have to wait for more replays and try to figure it out. And I know when we talked to Reimer last weekend, he said that he watches the broadcast screen, and I don't know how he can follow half the stuff that's going on then when it's happening. So they're very, very easy fix for the audio, very easy fix for the video, but they don't seem to want to do it. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Number 9. And keep in mind, there's only 11 this right now because Chihuahua has not had a home game yet. Number 9 is Baltimore. And I was struggling whether to put Baltimore or Dallas 9th or 10th. But Baltimore at least can spell their opponent's name correctly. So I think that drops you down automatically. Baltimore seems to have regressed a few years in their broadcast. So in the 2019-2020 season, their broadcast was 100% better. No complaints at all. I thought it was one of the better ones that was out there. And then they've gone back now to this weird thing. Cameras, like, remember the seizure game? It was like 9 minutes and 30 seconds into their last home game, I think it was. On the game clock, not the YouTube clock. They went back and forth between 2 cameras like 7 or 8 times in like a 3-second period. and I went like this, and then the audio is still ahead of the video, and there's no excuse for this. If they're going to be a top tier team, they need to fix their just. And I won't even get into the comments that their broadcast team makes. Although I think they're getting better. I think they've made a noticeable change to not like call out every foul and complain about it, or everything they think is a foul. So I would hope that they can fix that, move up the charts a little bit. Number 10.
But they're going to get better.
Who, Baltimore or Dallas?
Dallas.
So Dallas has a new announcing team now. They had like 4 different announcing teams last year. It was funny that Coach Jewell said he really enjoyed listening to their broadcast, but I think he's listening from a knowledge standpoint rather than a how much do I want to turn the volume down on this broadcast standpoint. It was weird. The first broadcast they did, and I don't know the guys' names. I can't remember. The color announcer. It was like this weird ASMR. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like weird mumbling things, and then the go things. But my biggest problem with them is actually the video. Well, it's just really blurry video. It's not good quality. They have such a nice turf that video doesn't do it any justice. It makes it look worse.
Case in point, I mean, Juan Gamboa had a save of the week.
Right. He saved it so well, the ball never made it on the screen.
Yeah, the ball never made it on the screen. No matter what angle you used, it was never on the screen.
Right. And that goes back to you should never miss a goal, and a save of the week is as much important as a goal, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean, he could have used his hand and used the force and just
right,
the ball just flew.
Yeah, Kevin says goal, 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 goal. It's more like gull, 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 gull. And every time I think of the things from Finding Nemo, mine. Yeah, that's all I can think of. However. Yeah. Aside from the goal thing, I think the announcers have been getting better, but I heard there might be a change.
There is.
There is.
Officially a change.
And it's our friend from Off the Wall Days. I actually said the name of that thing I shouldn't have said.
Yeah.
Should we say his name?
Yeah, why not? Matt
Thornton will be back. Don't know when? Or this weekend?
Yeah, this week.
Okay.
This week, game against Kansas City.
Looking forward to that. I hope the video guys can fix their stuff. I would expect Dallas to rise up, but if you can't spell your opponent's name correctly in your graphic, and for those of you who haven't seen, let's take a really good look at this. Look at St. Louis's name. Look at it closely. Look away. Look back. It really says Ambuns. Now, I can't even blame that on spell check because I don't know what you would type in to have it say Ambuns as an actual word.
So do we predict the name that Kansas City will have on the overlay?
What's the name of the Lamborghini? Kansas City Countach.
I'm going to say the Kansas City Comments.
Comments. Oh, that would be good. That would be a good one.
Yeah.
Comments. Okay. But yeah, because you can't spell your opponent's name correctly, you're way down there on the list. I will drop you all the way to the bottom if it weren't for Florida.
No, you can't. No. You can't go lower than the final one.
And finally, in 11th place, what I was gonna do is I was gonna put Chihuahua in 11th.
Yeah,
and put them above Florida, even though they haven't had a broadcast yet. Yeah, Kevin's like, LOL, Ambuns. Wow, yes, exactly. That was where we were just. How can you screw up something so badly? Now we get on people's cases for mispronouncing names. By the way, if anyone has contact info for Tom Wynn from Milwaukee, and you would think the guy from Milwaukee does, but I do not. We need to get him. This is a request directly from the broadcast team from Ontario. The name is Frank Tieyu. Tieyu. Tieyou. How you pronounce it. Tom doesn't pronounce it anywhere near that, but they are requesting that somehow we get Milwaukee to pronounce that correctly. Because he's brought up almost every game because he's in the run for points of the goal, points of the year with Ian and Leo Gibson right now. So he usually is brought up at least once a game, and it's not brought up with the correct pronunciation. So, Tom, if you somehow get this to him, Scotty, I don't know if you're out there in the chat at all. If you have his contact info, just drop him a line and say, hey, Ontario would like you to pronounce Tieyu like Tieyu and not whatever the other word. Which I won't say because I don't want to get anyone confused. Anyway, back to last place. Spot number 18 out of 11. The Florida Tropics. So the other night, I turned on the game and started. So I have this TV in my pool table area. I put the audio on 20 on volume. It goes from a scale of 0 to 100. And like if you have it at like 30, you're blasting yourself out of the room.
On any other broadcast.
On any other broadcast. So they go to a break. And I come back and I hear, I'm like, what is going on? So I turn it up. And in order to get to the same level it was before, it's at 55. And then with no notice over the course of 3/4 of a second, it goes all the way back up again. And I have to go all the way back down to 20 to get it to go back. Just like no excuse for that. Like the old school. So if they're running an old school mixing board, with the faders and things, the old school trick is you put a piece of masking tape where your level is. Like you get your level set, put a piece of tape there. And when you bring them down for a break, you bring them back up to the tape levels. Unless someone put cheap tape on there and went boom, and I don't know, or forgot to put it. I don't know what they did.
Well, that's probably what happens when they score a goal.
Yeah. Bushwhacker says time to ask the team to make Ambuns merchandise. Bushwhacker, you're gonna have to change your name then. Bunswhacker.
Oh dear, no.
He's old.
Now, back to them.
And now, back to us. So, sorry about that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, audio problems. They obviously don't have any compression on because when Brian Ackley's mumbling about the Tampa Bay Rowdies not having any glass up in 1993, and then somebody scores a goal, it goes from here to here in volume level. Just about blows you out of your seat. The video used to be much crisper than it was the game that I watched. I don't know what happened, if they turned down the volume and then he changed it to Bunswhacker.
They changed. Did they really change it to?
In the YouTube chat, he changed it to Bunswhacker.
Great. I can't wait to see that.
But I don't know what the problem with their video was. They fixed it over the COVID season. The video was actually really good after that first game where we were lucky to have a picture.
Yeah. Then the scoreboard.
It's sitting at 50. It's obviously not synced up to the game because there's times where it's running and the ball is stopped, or it's times where it's stopped and the play is going on. It's sat at like 15 minutes in the third quarter forever. Then they get on like, oh, well, apparently we got our problem with our scoreboard that I've been told it's stuck in the third quarter and we can't change it.
We can't change it.
Well, first, I don't even know where to start with that comment. Scoreboards aren't hard. It's the buttons. Oh, sorry. Eric says it was 1983 for the Rowdies. But yeah, so this goes back to the whole thing we said about and Bunschwacker. Oh, it's Bunschwacker.
It's German.
It's German. Yes. It's Bunschwacker. I don't have a German accent, but it's it goes back to what we were saying, is the players on this team are the top talent in the league, and they show it every game. They deserve better. They deserve better than a team who can only draw 1,200 people to a game, and that maybe not even a true number. They deserve better than a team that has that turf. They deserve better than an organization that's going to put that broadcast out and not fix it over the course of how many ever seasons. So I don't really expect Florida to leave the bottom spot. They could surprise me, but where would I start in fixing it? Change your whole production crew again. Change your broadcast guys. Brian Ackley has a lot of really good knowledge. He's not exciting to listen to. And fix your video and audio. Just fix it. It's 2020. What year is it? 2022.
22. Yeah.
Streaming over the internet. Like there's 9-year-olds making millions of dollars a month streaming over the internet. They can figure it out. You guys can too. I believe in you. I mean, I don't, but I'd like to say I believe in you as an organization to be able to fix this.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think anything we're going to say is going to go up the ranks that much. So, yeah, Florida's probably going to stay there for all of eternity at this point.
And then they're going to get new turf and do something dumb. And just, like, paint new football lines on it. Yeah, Tropics need to fix their... It's painful to watch, and I felt embarrassed for Ian Bennett playing there. Why haven't I watched that and listened to that season?
Yep.
And it just that was annoying. Maybe maybe some other team will do something worse and maybe temporarily drop them below, but I don't think so.
No.
Maybe they'll surprise us. That's what power rankings are for.
I would, here's the thing. I would say the Memphis Americans broadcast was better than Florida. And that's saying a lot because they didn't have audio for the first half of the first quarter.
That's a good point. Yeah.
That guy was a lot better to listen to. The mirrored camera angles were kind of wonky, but it was entertaining to listen to.
I agree.
So.
All right. Now we have the fun segment of the show.
That's right, Eric. Get a hold of the Kansas City players.
Yeah, where we drink and we talk about how bad our teams. Oh wait, we did that already.
No, we did that. We did that already.
For those of you who missed that, let me no, Matt, not orange turf. So Matt Sterling typed orange turf. So if you guys remember Solista Sonora last season or 2 seasons ago, they changed their turf to a red. And it was like, and then the lines were yellow, and it was like ketchup and mustard, red and yellow. And it was really, really, really hard on the eyes for the first broadcast. Like, I felt like I needed to get a pair of sunglasses to watch that game. It still looked sharp and it still looked cool, but it's a wrong color for a turf, I think.
I think, if St. Louis doesn't do the teal, I think Florida would like a light blue or something like that. I think that looked nice on Florida's.
Florida teal with orange accents would be cool. But not orange with teal accents, because you're going to blind your people in there.
Right.
Then again, that's probably something they have planned up. Although I heard the owner say that he doesn't think there's anything wrong with the turf. So maybe we're just doomed. Ronald McDonald Arena. Kevin, it really did. It was ketchup and mustard. And it was bright. I mean, they got better because they fixed the camera and the lighting and the things after a while. But then when it turned
and plus they had light shows.
Sonora was one of my favorite broadcasts. They actually took the top spot. Let me scroll way down.
Yeah, Sonora had like light shows after like every goal that they scored, and that was a cool broadcast.
For the 2017-2018 season, Solista Sonora's first in my power rankings. So there's that. So that happened.
Yeah.
All right. So let's pick the games. We have
Yay!
we have two pairs. No, we have one pair of games, and then rest are all individual. So we have a doubleheader of a home and a home between. No, wait, it's not even a home and a home. No, St. Louis at Tacoma back-to-back Friday night and Sunday night. And it's a true Sunday night game.
Do we pick both games at the same time?
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah, Tacoma sweep. I mean, the coaching situation in St. Louis is in limbo, and I think Tacoma is definitely an undervalued team, I think.
James would like to correct you and say the Ambuns, you mean.
Yes. Yeah.
So what Eric just typed, it might be my fault.
This weekend.
Yeah, it might be my fault, and I apologize to all Wave fans. And he said what Adam missed in his Wave analysis is how his pick last week motivated the comments, half of whom were watching in the box. By the way, comments, guys, you guys are awesome. And it's really hard to be mad at you when you win a game against us now, even though I am. But you guys were awesome last week in the chat. That was amazing. That was just it was great to have you guys.
Oh, so now they're back. So now they're back for more.
No, I don't think they're back. They might be, but they might be just quiet and not saying. They might have also gotten fined by the league for doing.
No, I don't think Leo would have cared.
Well, Leo wouldn't have cared.
We met Leo while we were out there.
Yeah, Leo was awesome. Every Comets player I've met has been awesome. I haven't met the one that might not be awesome, but I think he'll probably be awesome if I ever meet him in person.
Oh, so we'll get to the Comets game in a little bit.
Yeah. So you're picking.
But yeah, Tacoma sweep.
Tacoma sweeps who?
The Ambuns.
Okay. Making sure.
So when I looked up the word Ambuns, it showed like bananas.
I know. That was the most confusing Google search ever. I was like, what am I looking at? Banana Ambun.
But I would love a jersey with a banana on it that said St. Louis Ambuns. Like, I'd wear it.
I would like a jersey with banana on it that said Willie B on it. I forgot to grab that sound clip. Anyway, I will agree. I think I don't like Alex. So Alec, when he did his picks, would always say if it's a back-to-back, he always picks a split, and he just has to figure out which split to pick. I think the Ambuns are going to be reeling from the coaching change and the weird locker room thing that we heard about. I don't know what to make of that. Because I thought,
do we get the good Ambuns or the not so good Ambuns?
Well, and like if we thought going into the season that they were going to be hurting because of the coaching change, and yet he seemed to pull them together really well, and now he's gone. What is that? Where's that going to leave him? I've never met Mr. Locker. I've talked to him through Messenger a couple times. Seems like a nice guy. I don't know what kind of knowledge he has about the game and coaching, but now he's the interim coach. And I know him wanting to be more involved in the coaching was the main reason Everton left. I don't know what's going to happen here. I do know that the ownership has the tendency to say if you aren't with us, you're against us, and we may see some player movement throughout the season. Any of you defenders want to come up a couple hours north? We could use you in Milwaukee. Just saying. Yeah, Bushwhacker says has been good at practice, but he's scared for tomorrow.
Wait, who?
Bunswhacker. Oh, man. Sorry. Party foul.
It sounds like so when you say that, it reminds me you said Steinwasher.
Javi Bushwhacker? Bunchwhacker?
Bunchwhacker and Steinwasher. It's like a law firm.
Right. But wait. We need a third name on there.
And it has to be like common, like Smith.
Right. Yeah, Bunschwacker, Steinwasser, and Smith. Speaking of which, the best named guy for the new position in MASL, the MASL has hired a new CFO, and I'm going to totally steal this from Dave Kowaleski without any remorse. CFO stands for the corn dog fry operator. Right? And what's the guy's name? It's Dennis Fry.
Yeah.
Who better to fry corn dogs than a guy named Dennis Fry?
Perfect.
And we will expect to see those at, he says Smith Washer. That's awesome. So, I agree. I think Ambuns are going to be, I think they may have a close game, but I think, Tacoma seems to have.
You're going to see is 3 goals.
I'll say by 2 in each, maybe closer. That one's a tough one to pick because oh yes, I just got a message. I just got a message from. So Adam Grosskreutz is one of our all-time longest followers. I think Megan, is his cousin, just messaged me. So if you haven't watched the Wave Comets broadcast, go back and watch the beginning of it. As everyone knows, Brian Sales, longtime Wave employee and son of Larry Sales, who was the actual first #1 employee of the Wave in 1984. Brian passed away last year due to complications from a surgery that was trying to save his life anyway. And they put out one of the coolest little memorial type services. His name is all along the boards. And when they did the service, the entire Comets organization came over and gave Larry and his wife Mary hugs, and that was like one of the greatest moments I've ever seen at a game.
Yeah. I actually did get a chance to watch that. I was on my way to a New Year's Eve party, and I did see that, and I'm like, wow, that's like one of the most impactful, touching things that the league will ever see, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just even more respect for a team that's going to run away with a division, I think. But look at on the field
this week. But anyways,
on the field, off the field, totally two different things. We can be enemies on the field, and as soon as the whistle, final whistle blows, everyone's back to being friendly. Unless
they start causing trouble in the chat, then we might have issues.
Yeah, but they're not like Willie B level troublemakers. They're more, like.
Well, Willie B's been calm. He hasn't said anything, which is kind of concerning.
Yeah, and Willie B, if you happen to watch this, we were going to have you on the show this week, and then all hell broke loose for both of our teams, and we decided to have more of a therapy session.
He's probably doing like cone drills and stuff like that, getting ready for our cone drill contest.
Ice cream cones?
Probably scared.
Yeah. For those of you in the chat asking if Stefan Mijatovic is going to be playing, he is listed as out on the injury report, which was just updated for this week today. I'm going to guess that means no. A bunch of other teams. Yeah, so out is Paulo, obviously. Mijatovic is out with a foot injury. Doubtful are both Duduka and Sam Guernsey. And then COVID protocol is Tony Walls. Well, that's another thing we've put in there. With that many players out, that's going to hurt them a lot.
Yep.
And then for Tacoma, the only questionable is Vinny Dantas. So there's that. So then let's get to the next game. The Saturday, 6:05 p.m. Eastern, Heat at the Blast at CQ Arena. Do we say it?
I'd love to pick Harrisburg in this game. I would love to. 1, 2, 3,
forfeit. Sorry, I mean Blast.
a 3-0 win.
You're right. I don't think Oh, Tony Wallace was at the New Year's Eve game in the stands. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Why? That's...
Yeah, it's a head scratcher right there.
So he was hurt, and then he got COVID at the game? I don't know. Anyway, I got to pick Baltimore here.
I do too, but I want Harrisburg to win.
Well, we want anyone who plays Baltimore to win, because Gio's our friend. That's just the way it works.
But Willie B is our friend too.
Willie B's our friend. I think if the Heat had their same momentum that they had at the end of 2020 season, I'd be more tempted to pick the Heat, but I think with all the changes, like if the Wave were playing the Heat or the Blast right now, I would have to pick the Blast as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Baltimore.
Yep. And then 2 hours later, 8 p.m. Eastern on Saturday is the comments at the what's the word for side?
You can't really think of any for Dallas.
No, I can't. Sidekicks.
Yeah, we're gonna take Dallas on this one.
Really? I can't pick Dallas. I can't. I'm going by my standard of I'm got to pick them until they prove they can be beaten.
I'm gonna say Dallas. I'm just gonna wait for every player from Kansas City to come in, and then I'll say Kansas City.
Let's check the injury report. Out for Dallas is Brendan Lee.
Who?
He's one of their better players. Scotty says the side kinks.
The side kinks.
Out for KC is Henry Ramirez with a right ACL tear. Sorry to hear that. Mark Saxby with a head injury, and Ramon Palmer resting his left knee. Wow, that was hard to say. And then probable is Neto with a right groin strain.
Are you okay over there?
No, I'm not.
Words tough for you tonight?
Words are
by
hard.
the way, congrats to Neto for winning the defensive player of the month.
Oh, I didn't see that one. Yes, congratulations. Giant pain in the ass.
Yes.
I mean,
well,
great
for you
goalkeeper.
guys, not for us. But...
Great goalkeeper. I gotta pick the side.
Yeah,
I gotta pick the comments.
I'm gonna take the comments.
Oh, you did a 360 just to try to get some comments players out of the chat, and they aren't. They probably have like a, since you guys wasted all your time looking at In the Box, we're gonna have an all-night practice this week instead.
That's right. Yeah.
And then we get to your game, the Utica City FC at the Florida Tropics for Game 2 of the back-to-back 1 week apart. Everyone flies home and comes back. Road
well,
game.
This is going to be a long-winded analysis of this game.
All right.
And I'll say if Andrew Coughlin is in goal, Florida wins by 5. If Brian Wilkin is in goal, I think it's going to be much closer. I mean, yeah, I want to take Utica, and I don't think I've ever gone against Utica in a game, ever. Maybe.
Yeah. It's hard to do.
It is.
You want me to?
It really is.
You want to do this real quick?
Yeah, that's so much easier. Well, then I'm wearing this. So
oh yeah,
yeah.
Well, then I can. Here, hang on. Here we go.
Well, that doesn't. I could take this off and it doesn't matter. I've got the tattoo right there. So I am going to say.
Hang on. Before you say anything, Matt Sterling says, so I don't think the Utica guys flew back. I've seen a bunch of stuff on Instagram of them practicing outside on green grass with palm trees and hanging around a pool. Does that change your pick at all?
It does not.
Okay.
As I said, I think Utica has a chance to win if Brian Wilkin is in goal. Nothing against Andrew Coughlin. He doesn't look the same and he's got to fix that. If Brian Wilkin is in goal, Utica wins.
Oh, you're going way out. And nobody on the injury report for either team.
Yeah, Obasi was the only injury that was concerning, but he came back for the game last week. I mean, if the guys did practice and worked on conditioning, I mean, we did, and I did mention this. It was 4-2 in the second half.
Yeah,
and it was a fluke goal at the end. So 3-2, really. They just have to clean up those stupid defensive mistakes in their own end. They paid for it big time.
I'm wondering if I didn't. So I watched the game while practicing some pool for my pool league that I didn't go to because my opponents may or may not have COVID. How many of those defensive mistakes are goalie independent? Like, no matter who's back there, it's going to be scored on. Kind of where I'm getting at.
Yeah. There was one play in particular that kind of was a head scratcher. It was, I think Ben Raymond tried heading it back to Coughlin.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And there was nothing on it. Like, and there were two Florida players like in that area, and
yeah,
it went in. And I think the issue lies in the defensive third, which is why Darren Toby is a huge loss for this team. Hopefully we hear something about that soon.
Well, and then Drew Ruggles had the most ridiculously awesome toe poke yellow line shot that I've ever seen, where it did like this all the way.
I kind of saw it. I didn't watch a lot of the game for. I was at the movies with the kids, and plus it was too embarrassing to watch.
It's on MASL primetime if you want to see it. It was a great shot. He didn't look like
I did see it. It was like a play of the week or something like that. I did see it. It was good.
It didn't look like he put any strength into it at all. It was just one of those like no wind up.
You know, the thing is, like, anytime Drew shoots the ball, it goes like 9 miles up in the air and goes like so far up in the stands, and then he does something like that. Like,
yeah, that was great to see.
I don't know, Drew. If you wanna share your talents with 6 times the crowd, head up to Utica.
There you go.
Bring your friends.
I gotta pick the Tropics here. I can't go against it. I'd love to see someone else be more competitive with them.
I think you will. I think this game is going to be more competitive than the first two.
Bunswacker says he's designing a Ambuns jersey.
And the good thing is, I think the next time and the final time we see Florida is in like March or something like that. So
it could be a completely different year by then, yeah. So then, since we already picked both Ambuns games, the last game is the Fury at the Sockers, or a repeat of the game last weekend at the same time, I think, 7 o'clock Eastern. No, maybe it isn't. Maybe it's...
Is it at Pechanga again?
It is.
Wow.
So Ontario was 2 different teams in that game last Sunday, because they went up 3-0 and they had complete domination in the entire game, and they gave up 6 in a row and they just didn't. It's like a switch was flipped, and that was just the end of that.
Yeah.
It was really strange. They are very, 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 very well coached, very well conditioned. I think they come back and win this game, but it's going to be very close. It's going to be a all game.
I got to go opposite. I think riding that momentum. I mean, San Diego scoring 6 goals in a row without Boris Pardo. I mean, you have to take that into consideration. Boris Pardo is going to be back for that game.
Yeah, that's true.
So
However,
I think you're going to see San Diego finding a way to win.
nothing on Ontario's injury report. There's a guy named Sean Callahan who's doubtful for San Diego. And then questionable are Craig Childs, Cesar Cerdo, Luis Ortega, Brian Farber, Felipe Gonzalez, and Brandon Escoto. It's questionable, so that's
yeah. So, I mean, if you take out, let's say, Childs and Escoto, Ontario does have a chance to win.
Yeah.
I think it all depends on the number of people that play. So,
true. One thing I found interesting.
I'm going to say San Diego finds a way to win.
One thing I found interesting is that when St. Louis went to Dallas, St. Louis signed Pollo Cortez as goalkeeper on a Friday. He played one game, that he released him on Monday. However, when San Diego signed him on the 1st, which was Saturday, he played on the 2nd, and he has not been released.
Yeah, I mean,
I wonder if he's going to be there.
Doesn't have a backup.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to be the backup for the rest of the season now.
Yeah, that's a big mistake by Dallas.
Well, St. Louis could have had him.
St. Louis. That's right, St. Louis.
Yeah. So was he
the goalie of record during the game between the Sidekicks and the Ambuns, or was that the one before it?
No, I think it was.
Okay.
No, wait, maybe it was. I don't remember. No, I think it was. I think it was the one before it, because that one was just last weekend.
Right.
Yeah, it was the one before it for sure. So, question for you: is it possible everything Ambuns would be just as popular as the whole corn dog thing?
I mean, yeah. Ambuns could be the new corn dog.
Yeah. Kevin says, rumor I heard San Diego will sign Antonio Brown. Yeah, that and we thought MASL had weird ways of getting rid of people leaving teams and getting fired and quitting and stuff.
Well, yeah.
Oh, okay, so Pollo played only the last quarter when the Ambush beat the Sidekicks, as it was a trial game. So they obviously didn't see what they were looking for, or they saw that they had what they needed in Sway. Stayed with them.
No.
Yeah, who knows? Well, that's all the games.
Yeah.
I don't think I have anything else on my list I want
to. I've got nothing.
So to recap, Wave is up and coming. Utica needs to find their mojo. They need to go back in time and get their mojo back from Dr. Evil.
Yes. Somehow.
Don't forget about the GoFundMe for Paulo for his surgery that he just had about 24 hours ago. Or probably not 24 hours ago, because it's 9:30 at night. Get your corn dog, your Zanaboni catchphrase in the corn dog contest, and I will probably this weekend at some point gather all those together and make a poll out of it. Matt Sterling has a good question. Any word on MASL betting? Online sports betting goes live this Saturday, and all these places are giving out tons of free bet credits. I have not heard anything.
If I were a betting man, I would say no.
But the MASL has a new CBD partner. So MASL betting past month. Nothing.
I will send a message to one of my sources and I will ask.
Yeah. Yeah, as far as I can tell, nothing out there. Scotty feels like these announcements make him feel like he's in school again. Remember, no shows of personal affection in the hallways.
Oh, and Mike De Silva needs to calm down his anger issues.
Mike De Silva needs to work on his anger issues. We all have anger issues.
Yes, I understand that, but he made that list twice.
So when that happened, I was talking to someone, and I completely missed whatever happened in that altercation. Because it wasn't the same play. It wasn't separate play. It wasn't separate yellow cards. He was in the box for 10 minutes.
And that's another thing. So let me just do this really quick. I think the yellow card is the biggest crock this game has.
The worst foul ever is the yellow card against the bench where nobody has to serve anything, and it's just...
Or the yellow card for dissent.
Yeah.
The player, you should be down a player for 2 minutes, and that other person should be on for 5.
Or just make it a blue card. I know they want to separate the whole, this is a contact type injury and this is or contact type foul and this is a non-contact type incident. That's why they blew.
You know what? Maybe leave it up to the coach. Let's say, for example, someone has a penalty for dissent. Go to the opposing coach and say, all right, do you want this player out for 5 minutes or do you want a power play for 2 minutes?
Oh. I like the idea, just get rid of the yellow card by itself. So the only reason the yellow card would be used if it was a blue plus a yellow for, like,
just
let's
like
say
in hockey.
Let's say you get like a double minor, but let's say you get a guy gets a blue card and then goes off on the ref. Then I like the yellow for dissent on top of the blue. But just
right.
The like regular yellow for or like the whole I'm gonna front the ball because that's what I've been taught my entire soccer life, and if a guy kicks it in my legs, then we get this whole encroachment warning, and then if it happens again, then I get a 5-minute penalty for delay a game. I understand where that's coming from. Or if the whistle blows and I kick the ball and I get a warning, and if I do it again, then it's delay a game.
Yeah, I think they have to do away with some of these just pointless yellow cards. It doesn't really do much. You can put, like, for delay a game, you put your 18th guy from the bench in the box. He's not even in the game anyway. So what's the...
Where do you put him?
In the box.
Giggity.
No.
So, how about this strategy? Because you'll see this a lot of times when a team gets a penalty, like a too many men penalty. They'll put one of their star forwards in the penalty box and basically just say, "Here, go rest for 2 minutes." And then as soon as the penalty's over, we're going to look for you on a long pass.
Right.
So for 5 minutes, if you want somebody who's played a lot of minutes, and let's say it's fourth quarter, you can use this strategy in your favor to rest one of your guys. I'm stretching here, and I'm kind of grasping here a little bit, but
yeah, I just think the yellow card for dissent is probably one of the most ridiculous cards in the MASL, and it should be outlawed. But
what do you do when say a player maybe named Derek Huffman takes a free kick from the top of the arc, scores, and then yells something very derogatory, telling wave players or the ref or whoever to do something with one of his body parts? What's the penalty there?
Blue card taunting.
Okay. I'm good with that. I mean, not against Derek Huffman anymore.
Right. Or I mean, if it's egregious, kind of maybe like a double minor, maybe like a 2-minute penalty for taunting, and then like a 5-minute misconduct or something like that.
Hang on, we have royalty in the chat. Everyone raise their Stella glasses to Mr. Everton, who's in the chat. Everton, how you doing? So he says, I respect
have Stella. I have rum chata. That's about it.
So Everton, just so you know, you're about the way the YouTube chat works. You're anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds behind what we're talking about. So we're going to kind of catch up. He says he respectfully disagrees. The yellow card does play a big role in the game. And meanwhile, Bushwhacker made an Ambun shirt design. He wants to know where to send it. Send it to me on In the Box.
But I guess then my question would be, how? It doesn't really do much.
I think what my guess is what he's going to say. He's going to probably have something that neither of us have thought of because we're too dumb for this.
Probably, yeah.
But my guess is going to be it disrupts the lines and it disrupts the flow of line changes and makes everyone have to work a little bit more while the guy is sitting in for 5 minutes. Because the 5 minutes isn't a strict 5 minutes. It's a 5 minute plus has to come in at the trying to say
whistle at the next
next stoppage or whatever. Oh, Bushwhacker doesn't have Facebook.
Twitter at ITV_corndog or
do I have Instagram?
Send it to one of us.
Oh, I do have an Instagram. Look at that.
All right. Well, yeah, go nuts.
Well, the first thing I see is Everton up here with Max Ferdinand.
Right.
I haven't been on.
But I think, yellow card, and you can throw this out there. Team gets a yellow card for encroachment or delay a game or something. You put your bottom guy in the box. It doesn't do anything. Doesn't really disrupt any sort of flow.
Yeah.
You're putting a guy that will never see the field in the box.
So,
Giggity.
What he said was, would you be okay losing Ian Bennett for 5 minutes on a fourth quarter when the game is tied against Utica?
If Giuliano Oliviero put Ian Bennett, for like dissent?
Right. So he's saying, yeah. So I think Everton, where Matt's coming from is the random 5 minute where they have to choose someone to go and serve the penalty versus this is a dissent penalty against this exact guy. I think that's where the difference is here.
And, I think, and it kind of leads back to what I was saying. Okay, let's have that scenario. If Ian Bennett magically went off on the referees, because I don't think he would do that, if it was a tie game, Ian Bennett dissent, would I rather have him in the box for 5 minutes or a power play for 2 minutes?
Or you get a yellow card and you can pick anyone. Let the opposing coach pick who goes in.
Right.
Yeah, because there was a game, I think it was Lucas Souza ended up serving like 3 penalties in a row and only one was actually something he did.
Yeah.
Poor guy was in the box for like an entire quarter and it was only one thing that he actually did.
Yeah, and I feel bad for Tim Goldman on Utica because he spends most of his time in the penalty box. It's like he's a great player, and yet they use him to put him in the box for stupid yellow cards.
So yeah, Everton says, what if Ian got a yellow for delay? Yeah, it's a good point, and I think that's where. So Everton, in your opinion, what would be worse for a team? Losing Ian for 5 minutes on a yellow or losing him for 2 in a power play? He said yellow is important. It's hard to go straight to blue. I think what happens is for anyone in Milwaukee, and you'll probably see this maybe at some point in your life if you hear a broadcast. I almost
Giggity.
there. Van McNeil makes a huge deal about yellow cards in Milwaukee. Because he always says, like, Dallas sidekicks, penalty. He goes, not a 2-minute blue card, but a 5-minute yellow card. And he makes it like seem bigger and better. When in reality, yeah, it's like not as much. Okay, so Everton has a solution for this. Easiest way to discipline your team and don't get a stupid yellow. Oh, well, we solved that.
Okay. All right. Wow.
Everton special guest fixing the problems of the MASL.
Now go fix the M buns.
So Everton has St. Louis contacted you for coming back to be coach or not? I doubt it.
Yeah.
So I think that's about all we had.
Yeah. How long did we go? I don't even know what time it is.
9:42 p.m. We have gone 2 hours and 12 minutes.
Wow. Not bad.
I thought I spent a lot of, he says dropping the mic. I don't know if that was before or after he heard has St. Louis contacted him or not.
Yeah.
Oh, Everton. In case you missed the Dallas game, check out this graphic and check out the name under St. Louis here. And we'll just leave that up long enough for you to be able to see that. That actually did happen. That was at the pregame of the last home game in Dallas. In fact, a week ago. A week ago tonight.
It was a week ago to this day. Yeah.
He's on vacation from. That's probably good. Probably good. They can't even get the team name right. What are you gonna do? All right, I believe we may.
Yeah. Next week, we'll try and get someone on.
Well, we'll see how well my team won't be doing anything. I guarantee the Wave is going undefeated this weekend. Otherwise, I'll get a tattoo. Well, I better not say that because
whatever Jay wants.
Yeah, just in case.
Well, I can tell you, Utica will be undefeated from
tonight until
Sunday after the game until next Sunday before their game.
What?
That's about it.
That's okay. Oh, Everton wants to come live with us one of these days. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, is he more of a pie guy or a cake guy?
All right, Everton, this is an important question. Would you rather have pie or cake? He says, haha, I love it. Ambun's expansion team. I mean, Brian Roth did say he was going to put a NISL team in St. Louis. Maybe that was it.
I think I'm going to make an Ambun's jersey.
That's what Bushwhacker already has a design. He's going to send it to me. Funny thing about that is, remember the movie Coming to America? Where it was...
yeah, that's like my second favorite movie of all time.
So maybe Ambun's is McDowell's. Oh, boy. Everton. I don't know what to say, man.
No.
Yeah. Everton said pie.
No.
I think with that, I think we should just end this show. I don't even have a joke for us tonight.
Next week, we could have an hour discussion on pie versus cake. Of course, we wouldn't talk soccer, but...
I'm fine. Although next Friday, Chihuahua at the Wave. We need to talk a lot about that.
Wait, Chihuahua at Wave? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Next Friday. Hang on, I might have gotten... Hang on. A message. Oh, here we go. Wait. Yeah, hang on. And hang on. Just hang on.
I'm hanging.
Okay.
I'm not really going anywhere.
Nope, wrong one.
Okay, that was good. That was the M buns.
Why did...
Wait, please tell me this is not the design of the...
It is. Hang on. We'll be right back and see if this reloads this way.
Now, back to them.
All right, now let's see what happens.
Okay, same thing.
It's the same thing. I don't understand why it's the same thing. Hang on, there's a way to...
Just put it on in the box page.
Choosing. Hit okay.
So now, wait. So since we have the M buns, if they have a mascot game, not only would we need to have a corn dog, but we would need to have a banana named M bun.
Yes, that's true. Oh. You'll never guess. But I'm an idiot.
Wait, what?
There we have it. That is brilliant. I love it. Well, okay, so wait a minute. So Matt Sterling says brownies are the superior dessert, but cake easily trumps pie. Everton says other than cheesecake, though. And now we're at a crossroads.
Okay, cheesecake. Plain cheesecake is disgusting. The texture of plain plain cheesecake is disgusting. Although, Cheesecake Factory has a pineapple upside down cheesecake, which is one of the best cakes I've ever had.
Oh. So, okay, now we're on this. So back to cake. Frosting. Buttercream or cream cheese?
Buttercream. Buttercream trumps pretty much everything.
Okay. Oh, you want to see the M Buns jersey here? Ta-da! That's much easier to do now that I'm not. Back to join the broadcast now. Cover up the MASL logo with it.
Yeah.
Just leave it on there for a while.
Yeah.
Cream cheese is for cinnamon buns. What about... Okay. Follow me here. Stay with me. Carrot cake. Assuming we're doing without raisins, because raisins are completely nasty. Then is it okay with cream cheese frosting?
No. No. Icing. No cream cheese frosting. Cinnamon buns, icing.
Yeah, I agree with that for cinnamon buns.
So here's my thoughts on cream cheese. Plain, like just cream cheese, gross. If you doctor the living daylights out of it, i.e. chicken wing dip, for example, or like I said, any cheesecake from Cheesecake Factory is got a ton of other stuff in it, and it hides that gross plain cream cheese flavor. So no. Carrot cake with raisins and icing.
Adam Grosskreutz says cream cheese with carrot cake.
No.
All right. has been Cake Talk
with guest Everton.
with Everton as your guest. Oh, what kind of cake goes best with Stella? That's what everyone wants to know.
I don't know. I would imagine carrot cake would probably be good with it. I don't think like chocolate would be good. You'd have to have like a porter or something like that.
I'm not a beer drinker, so I don't know.
Like maybe a heavier like beer, maybe. I don't know. I don't think it would be. I don't think chocolate cake and Stella would go well together.
He says no sweets with beer. Okay, well, fair enough. Even pie, I'm assuming. It's against his religion to have sweets with beer. Okay, well, fair enough.
All right. Well,
I want to go against the.
Yeah, I would kind of agree. I don't think I would. I would pair anything sweet with beer.
So before anyone goes, make sure to subscribe for more excitement such as St. Louis Ambuns jerseys, Cake Talk.
And me randomly pointing to try and figure out where it went.
But randomly pointing. I think I still have this one. That's like perfect for this angle. It's Matt, the couch view. Oh, that was perfect. Cheese, salami, peanuts, and Stella. I could almost drink beer with the rest of those three. Like if those are the four food groups.
Wait. Cheese. Okay, cool.
Salami.
What else?
Salami.
Okay, I'm on board.
Peanuts. And Stella.
What? Ritz cracker. Replace Ritz cracker with peanut, and I'm on board.
That's fine. I am good at that. My work gave us our manager gave us little Christmas things, and I got Usingers, which is a Wisconsin-based sausage company. 3 different kinds of sausage, 2 different kinds of cheese, and some kind of nasty dry crackers. But I replaced with Ritz, and it was Ritz or club crackers.
Ooh. Ritz plain. Club crackers if they have the cheese in the middle. It's like the club cracker.
Oh. Ritz or Townhouse?
Ritz.
Really? What was the other kind that they had? It looked like Ritz, but they were really thin.
No, I'd probably go Ritz over anything. Ritz is nice and buttery, and it's nice. How did we get into cracker talk?
I don't know. I have no.
This is strictly cake.
I blame Everton because he brought up cheese, salami, and peanuts, and then you went off on crackers. And
we've deviated from
what our normal schedule.
I know.
On topic discussion for 2 hours.
Yeah, this is. Yeah.
Oh boy. Let me see what I got. Gotta end the show properly.
Well, okay, so you're going into your joke. So, thank you for watching. Next week, hopefully, I'll be in a non-drinking mood, and have some more interesting things to talk about. Yeah, some interesting things on the horizon.
Maybe some interesting things there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll be able to preview a good game for a good couple games for next weekend. But we'll talk about that later, and maybe we'll have some movement in the power rankings for the broadcasts.
Maybe.
Let's see, probably not for one team that we may see on Saturday.
Sunday.
Or is that Sunday? Yeah. So, you have kids.
You know I do, because they've clearly made an impact on the show.
Yeah, you've seen a lot of kids movies, and I think a lot of them are getting like really, really intense.
They are. I mean, I saw one last Sunday.
I remember watching this one movie when my oldest was like 2. Guy's wife brutally murdered by a serial killer. Also left his son permanently disabled.
Okay.
In a weird, twisted turn of events, his son is kidnapped, and this guy has to chase the kidnapper thousands of miles with the help of like a mentally disabled woman. But fortunately, in the end, they found Nemo.